Okay, so welcome everybody. It is the first Tuesday of the month, and this is our monthly Team Realize team call for April 2016. So as always, I want to thank you for either calling in and listening in live, or maybe you're listening to the recording of this. It is super important, and it should be included, I would think, in one of the 3 vital behaviors of being engaged with just your team calls, the national wake-up calls. All this information that coaches provide are super valuable. And I know every time I listen into a different call or webinar, I always have some sort of takeaway or aha moment. So, that's kind of the goal of what I hope to accomplish with these monthly calls, is not only to recognize the team members, which is also just as important, but also give you something to take away that will be effective in your business and that you could apply and help push your business forward. So for those of you that might be new to the team, my name is Daphne Walter, and I'm the leader of Team Realize. I've been a coach for about 5 years this month, so I'm super excited to be celebrating my anniversary month in April. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's welcome to the team all the new coaches. I think I say this every single month, as I am just blown away by the amount of people that are added to our downline. We had 268 new coaches added in the month of March, with a total of, and this is the count as of today, a little over 2,400, almost 2,500 coaches in the downline. So I am just seeing this team grow and grow and grow. And if you wonder why I share these particular statistics on the team call every month, it's not to toot my horn by any means. It's to let you know the greater team that you're a part of. And I know some coaches aren't quite sure of, really the activity that goes on throughout the downline with other legs or other coaching teams that we have. So this is just to show you that, our team is growing. We are thriving. There's lots of things that are going on. And every time new coaches are added to the team, I want them to know that this is an established team of coaches that they're a part of. Not saying that we're better than a newer coach, just letting them know that we've built the tools and resources and we have systems in place to help them become successful, and as well as you too. So our recruiter of the month, and again, these numbers blow me away every time I run the reports, because it's not just one person that meets these numbers. And, I could really do a list of the top 3, but there would be so many different ties. I'd probably have like the top 12 up here. So with 8 new coaches recruited in the month of March, we have Rachel Baldwin and Ellen Ludwig. They were tied. And again, we have people right on their tail with 7 new coaches, 6 and 5. And this doesn't even include, I think I mentioned last month, the spouse accounts. Because if I were to go through and add up, the number of coaches that people are recruiting under their spouse to help push them in rank or volume or whatever's needed, I'm sure these numbers would be even higher. So celebrating Success Club. I'm going to just go ahead and probably make an announcement, like an apology, that I haven't had the time to recognize all the Success Club members. I wish I had an assistant that could help me with those fancy graphics and put together a list of all the coaches in the downline that achieved Success Club 10 or higher, or even 5 or higher, or was at that almost there mark with 1 Success Club point and above. But again, when you have the number of coaches in the downline, that is a very time-consuming project. And I don't want to take away from recognition, because I know how important that it is. So what I've decided to do is, moving forward on these monthly team calls, recognize the number of coaches that have reached the certain Success Club levels. And then every week I'll be posting in the Team Realize group some individual numbers, top 10 numbers, top 3 numbers, whatever the category is for that month. And I promise to change it around so you don't always see the same coaches, which are amazing. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't recognize that, but it's always nice too to be recognized for other things besides, certain metrics. All right, so let's go ahead and go through some quick Team Realize news for the month. Our Coach Coffee Talks are back on Thursdays. I did have to cancel last week due to a doctor's appointment, But every Thursday morning via this same Zoom number at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, there's a 30-minute coach coffee talk. It is geared more towards the newer coaches that are going through a coach training, coach basics, whether it's self-paced or they're in a coaching group led by their upline coach. So it's an opportunity for them to drop in, maybe ask questions about some of the assignments that they're seeing, what it takes. Maybe they're pushing to become Emerald, or they're not quite sure how to earn Success Club points. But most definitely, any coach in the downline is available to join, no matter how long you've been in the business. A couple weeks ago, I had 2 seasoned coaches drop in, and we talked about elite numbers because there was no one else on the call. So we really structured it towards the needs of what they were looking for. One of them was pushing for diamond. Her upline was on there going for 1-star. So we were making sure that everything was in place. Utilize this time to help with your business, especially if you don't feel like you're getting the resources, outside of our team. So our next Emerald in a Day training is this Friday, April the 8th. And what this is, if you aren't familiar, it's a push to Emerald. It's a one-day group. Yes, it's a little aggressive, but really it's meant to get that fire lit under you and show you the different behaviors and activities that are required in order to get you to that next rank level. We've even had coaches join these push groups that are already Emerald coaches and just need a little bit of a push in order to get maybe some momentum going or some activity going again to help push them to the next business goal that they have. We have 2 live power hours scheduled for this month. The first one coming up is next Tuesday, the 12th, and then the other one is the last Tuesday of the month on the 26th. So Stephanie Rath will be leading the one on the 12th. I'll be leading the one on the 26th. So make sure you are looking out for that event invitation in the Team Realize group. And also as a reminder, I know I've been, a little slacking on some posting reminders in the group, but our Fun Fridays are in full effect. Say that 5 times fast. Fun Fridays, anything goes. I know I posted in there a couple weeks ago. It was my anniversary. This Friday, my husband's having surgery, so I'll probably have a picture of, wheeling him into the doctor's office. Nothing major. He's just having a plate removed from his leg from when he broke his leg. But, anything goes. And celebrate maybe a challenger that you have, or this is a time to toot your own horn. Maybe you're going into the weekend and you already have, 2 Success Club points this week, and it's only the first week of the month. So again, Fun Fridays is just an open forum for you to post and to share and just, bring some livelihood to the group. The rest of the days we could talk about challenge packs and, training groups and things like that. So this just gives you an opportunity just to share a little bit of personal things as well. Also, as a reminder, we have Coach Summit coming up in July. There is a separate Team Realize Coach Summit group. So if you are going to Summit and aren't part of the group, make sure you request access from me or post in Team Realize, and we'll get you added. Kevin did a great job at modifying the form. So we have a great tracker to keep track of everybody on the team who's going, our travel plans, where we're staying, so we could coordinate, tracks and things like that. So again, it's super important that if you're not in the group, that you get in it so that you know kind of what we're all doing, the different workouts and stuff like that. Because it'd be great to do it as a team. It's always more fun when you have your team there. It's also great meeting new people and networking with other coaches, but also just, if we all qualify for certain parties or events or, celebrations that we could all represent and go together. So coming soon, actually, I just completed it last night at almost midnight last night. It's been on my to-do list for about 2 months. It's a new Getting Started Right process for new coaches. So I will be sharing that. It's all now a virtual Google form. So everything is automated. It gives new coaches everything they need right from the day that they sign up. So it does replace the welcome email that is normally sent to them. And the reason why we're going this direction is, one, it's easy to track. It's easier to set your coaches up on different systems and see where they are in the basics process from, like I mentioned, from the day that they sign up to completing About Me forms, a 7-day quick start, what type of training that you're going to direct them to. It just gives them all those options and resources up front. And it gives you a better understanding of what this coach is what their ideas are, what their goals are for the business. That way, you're not spending too much time trying to push someone into something that they're not, or you make sure that you are giving enough time to those coaches who are ready to hit the ground running. So again, be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll be posting that probably the next couple of days. I just want to make a few more tweaks. So as a reminder, our Feeling Lucky Challenge, the results are coming soon. You guys, the numbers, like I said earlier on this call, the numbers just blew me away. So there are a lot of manual numbers to add up to make sure that it is fair and that we have the right amount of people getting entered into the raffle. But we're going to have the person who earned the most entries is going to earn a prize. Then I'm going to draw 2 names for prizes, and then the final name that is drawn will be our grand prize winner, and hopefully I'll have that announced in the next day or 2. Okay, so just a quick recap. I know some of you are already out there selling these. I've seen Success Club points already on the board, so you know what's up. But just as a quick recap, the challenge pack for this month are the Masters Hammer and Chisel, the Beachbody On Demand. Also, it doesn't look like there's on here the club membership that also has the oh my gosh, I just lost the portion fix. Sorry about that. Also, the areas of focus, Success Club. You earn the Shakeology apron, which I know I'm super excited for. I'm going to be pushing hard for Success Club because anything Shakeology, I love to collect. Years ago, I earned the Shakeology Snuggie, and to this day, it is my travel blanket. I get so many compliments on it, or, kind of, what is that when you're sitting on an airplane with a big old Shakeology Snuggie wrapped around you? Also, if you did not attend Super Saturday or you're not up to speed with some of our business news, the 4th Vital Behavior Recognition, it's now official. We now have 4 vital behaviors. So you will see a lot of our coaching materials changed. I know the 7-day quick start, when I was adding it to the GSR process last night, the corporate one, it's already modified to include that 4th vital behavior. So as you're talking with your new coaches and you're writing down your own business activity, make sure you're adding in the recognition portion as well. All right, so here we go. I'm actually really excited to be doing this call because a lot of times I do training where I'm just trying to, give you tips and talk about how, what we do is, we share and we don't sell. And it's kind of, I feel like sometimes I tiptoe. But I've been working with a couple of people on the side who have some pretty aggressive weight loss goals. So they're not in a challenge group, anything like that. I'm just doing some one-on-one. And it hit me that there's some people out there that they need that tough love. They need to be, quote, slapped around a little bit and given back to them what they said that they were going to do. Because I asked someone the other day, I'm like, okay, what gives? What do you need from me as a coach? Because, if you're not staying on track and you're not, doing, X, Y, Z, like we talked about, what am I doing wrong? And the person just replied that they just really need, someone on them. And so this call is me being on you as a coach, right? And you all, well, maybe you all don't know, but my husband is a huge football fan. I'm not kidding when I say football is on in our house 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. If it's not football season, he's watching a game from 1975, the Falcons playing the Broncos or whatever. It's insane. He knows more about football than anyone that I know. So the other day, we were watching some highlights or recaps. And the draft was on. We're talking about like draft picks and things like this. Or we're talking about people going into the draft and whatnot. So it got me thinking that, not that the NFL is like coaching, but when you're training for the NFL, and this is something that you do pretty much as a kid, like you decide as a young boy that you want to grow up and you want to be a famous football player. So you work day and night. You're out there practicing. You are, junior varsity, you're, earning the Heisman Trophy or going off to college. You live and breathe football your whole life because you have a dream. And you decided at an early stage that you knew that you needed to be the best at that football game in order for that dream to be achieved. So when we were talking about these draft players, and my husband is going through the different college players and what teams that they're looking at and whatnot, it reminded me that these players they don't stop hustling, they don't stop working hard. when they get accepted or when they get picked for a team. If anything, that's when they go their hardest. When they go to the combine and they're working their butts off, yeah, they're working hard because they need to be at the top of the numbers in order to be recognized. And that's kind of the mentality that we need to have as coaches. It's like we have dreams as coaches. Like when you sign up to be a coach, you've been picked, right? You got to go on to any team that you wanted. You're open for business. So why do a lot of coaches, once they sign up as a coach, do the exact opposite? They just stop. It's like something holds them back. They have that fear. When really what we should be doing is giving it all that we've got. I mean, the door is open. There's no limits to what you can do with this opportunity. So I figured over the next, 15 minutes or so, I want to go through 9 tips to help keep you in the hustle. And these are things that literally I decided an hour ago was important for entrepreneurs, especially Beachbody coaches, to do every single day in their business in order to keep that momentum going, for them to keep that motivation up, and for them to keep hustling. Because believe it or not, this business is a hustle. It's a grind. There's going to be times where it doesn't feel pretty, that, we're putting so much effort into the business and not seeing any results come back. And 90% of the people would quit at that time. But those small select few, those athletes that are getting picked for the draft, they knew never quit, because if I don't quit, my dream will come true. If I quit, there's no way my dream's going to come true. But what's the worst case? I work hard. It might take longer than they thought, but if they have a dream that they're working towards, the only way to get it is to hustle. So the one thing that I decided that all these coaches or athletes, I should say, had in common was discipline. And discipline, as defined in the dictionary, is being able to do what you should, when you should do it, whether you feel like doing it or not. And that's what you have to do in this business. There's going to be days where you wake up and you're not going to want to do this business. It's going to seem tedious. It's going to seem hard. You just got 5 no's yesterday from challenge invites that you sent, and you're going to want to give up. And it's not going to seem worth it at all. But if you can be disciplined to your schedule, to your vital behaviors, and keep hustling every day, it's going to happen for you. But it's up to you to prove it to yourself, okay? So here's going to be the 9 that I'm going to run through, and I'll do a recap slide at the end. The first one is you need to practice the 4 vital behaviors every single day. That's invite, be a product of the product, personal development, recognition. Those are your hustles. That's what you're doing every day for your business activity, right? That's what Beachbody has said. If you want to be successful, if you want to earn Success Club and trips and be on stage and, be 15-star and earn income, you need to do these 4 vital behaviors every single day. Number 2, remind yourself of your why. What is that why? And I'm not going to go too deep into this, because we could do a whole call on, what your why is and identifying your why. But recently, I've kind of thought of my why as not the word why, but as a priority. And now when people say, I don't have time, I say, oh, so it's not a priority for you. And I love saying that word priority, because it throws it back at them and it makes them stop and go, no, it's important to me, but. And I said, well, if it was a priority, there wouldn't be a but. You would make no excuses to get this done. You wouldn't say that you didn't have time or you didn't have the money, because if it's a priority, you do whatever it takes to make it happen. If it's a priority, if you can't afford it, maybe that's when you use a credit card to buy your challenge pack, because you know that challenge pack investment is going to change your life. That $140 that you spend is going to come 10, 100-fold around, 6, 12 months down the road. So, what is that why? Constantly be remembering your why, because if you have why on the mind, then you're not going to stop hustling. If your why is to quit your job and stay at home with your kids, you're not going to just toe dip that day in your business, because it's going to take you that much longer to get to your end goal. Number 3, just as important as your why, it's remember your negative why. And I remember Keyshawn Graves, if any of you are familiar with Keyshawn, she works for corporate. She did a great training on the negative why. And, think about things that so your why is what you're pushing for, staying at home, the new job, paying off debt, or the new car, and the new house and paying off debt, things like that. Your negative why is what you don't want to go back to. It's what got you started on this journey in the first place. Maybe that's the corporate grind. It's that 1 hour commute back and forth that takes away 2 hours of your day from your family. It's the boss that is micromanaging that just, as soon as you open the door to your office that day, you just cringe because you know that he or she is just going to be writing you, all day long, and nothing's ever good enough. Maybe you were unemployed before and you don't want to go back to that because maybe, right now Beachbody might only be providing a couple $100 a week for you. That couple $100 a week was more than having $0 a week. Or maybe you had a great job. There's lots of people that join Beachbody that are in law enforcement or in lawyers and doctors and, teachers, and they have great jobs, but they're not fulfilled. And if you're not living out your passion, there's coaches in our downline. If you guys know Wendy Spencer, she did an amazing post a couple months ago about how her family was kind of giving her a hard time. She left her, I think it was her engineering job, and they kind of snarked at her like, you had this great job, like you went to school and got a degree and, spent all these years working towards this engineering job, and now you're doing a multi-level marketing Beachbody job. But she says that, she could have been making great money, but sometimes that money, it doesn't replace happiness. It doesn't give you back time with your family and your friends. So remember what your negative why is and what you don't want to go back to. Number 4 is to surround yourself with affirmations. Bringing the NFL back into this. What do football players do? They celebrate. They get in huddles. They have, chants before the game to hype themselves up. They got, inspirations around their locker room. During halftime, they all meet and they gather and they talk about what they're doing, what they could be doing better. And, they all pump each other up again to go back out for that last half of the game. And after the game, they pump themselves up again. So it's like, you don't just use affirmations once during the day. You don't give yourself that pep talk and go, all right, I'm going to do this today. You've got sticky notes around your office talking, with motivational quotes about how to believe in yourself, about how to push harder and become a better person. And maybe your affirmations are pictures of your family because that's your why. Maybe your affirmation is a house, not even your dream house. It doesn't have to be a mansion, but maybe you're renting a 2-bedroom apartment right now. And your goal someday is to buy a home for your family. That could be posted around. Those are your affirmations. Personal development. Listen, as you're working, have personal development audio playing in the background. If you are subconsciously listening to people believing in you, you can't help but start to believe in yourself. So constantly be surrounding yourself with positive affirmations. Number 5, set small goals to keep you motivated. Small goals help push you harder when you feel, or when you are accomplishing small goals, you want to push harder. Because I know when I knock something off of my to-do list, I feel pretty darn proud of myself. And I'm excited to do more. Last night, like I was mentioning, I was working on our GSR process until almost midnight. My husband was, watching a movie in the background and kept peeking over at me like, are you still working? Are you still working? And I was on a high. I was just going. I was just like, 1 section done, 2 sections done. My end goal, my big goal was to finish it. My small goal was to get through each section. So as I got through each section, I started feeling better about myself. This goes for, your weight loss goals, your business goals. It's important to set those small goals in order to accomplish those bigger goals because you feel better about yourself. And I don't know, when I feel good about myself, I want to go out and I want to do more. All right, sorry. We'll pop that for our 10-minute timer is up. So number 6 is to stay connected. And this is super important. I mean, if you are in the hustle, you gotta be in your own grind. You gotta be involved. You gotta be, engaged in these team calls like you guys are. You gotta be attending events like Super Saturdays and Summits and Platinum Edge. You need to have an accountability partner, someone that's keeping you on track and accountable and helping you feel supported. Staying connected means that you're engaged in what you're doing, because how are you supposed to be in the hustle if you're outside of everything? You can't be that player outside of the circle. You got to be in the circle where the action is, because when you're in the action, you're learning more, you're feeling more hyped up and more motivated. Number 7 is believe in something different. And I just did a video on our team the other day, yesterday I believe it was, about you need to believe that something different is possible. Don't wait to see it to believe it. Believe it and you'll see it. So as hard as you go in this hustle, just keep believing. It's all for everything. You're not doing this just for nothing. That even if you don't see results in 1 week or a month or 3 months, you keep hustling and you keep pushing. And once that ball gets that momentum and keeps rolling, and the harder that you keep hustling after that, just something different will happen at the end. Your dream, that's when your dream comes true. It was when you start to believe in it and you have an actionable plan in place and you hustle and you go after it. Number 8, and these are our last 2. So number 8, refuse to be ignored. You need to be present. You need to show up. You need to be setting records. You need to make the leaderboards. Teresa Hansen, our upline, she has her team Motivate leaderboards where she recognizes PV and Success Club. When myself or another team member on Team Realize is on there, I get so excited. It's like our team is doing something. Our name, it's like having your name in lights. On Facebook, it sounds kind of silly maybe, but for that small second, you just feel like, I did it. Like I not that it was a competition, but it's like I made that board. I'm in the top 10. I didn't think that I was really doing much, and an activity that I did. Look, now I've got my name on our upline's board. Those small pieces of recognition will take you far, but you need to refuse to be ignored. It's like you need to be that kid that's being the loudest on the field, right? I mean, who is? You need to be that quarterback, or you need to be the loudest cheerleader out there. Reach out to other coaches, be on the team calls, help out with events, make your presence known. Ask to be, reach out to Christine Dwyer and say, hey, what do I need to do to speak on stage at Platinum Edge next year? Make your presence known, because the more that you're known and the more eyes that you have on you, the harder you're going to work. Trust me. All right, so the last thing, and I'll go ahead and move our slides so you have all the slides available to you. It's just be better than you were yesterday. If you want, there it goes. If you want to be better, if you want things to be better, you need to be better. You need to be that example. You get back what you put into the universe. The harder you work, the more rewards that you're going to reap. So every single day when you wake up, ask yourself, who can I help today? Whose life can I better improve? It's not how can I improve my life? Because when you improve others' lives, that's when it's going to come back full circle. You get out there and you hustle and you connect and you practice those 4 vitals every single day, and you will become a better person. And trust me, that's when your business will grow. So I'm going to leave you with this. It's up to you to prove yourself. Your desire to be successful has to be greater than the desire to stay the same. And, there comes a day where in your heart that you want more out of life. Even if you've got a good life, if it's not the life where you're living out your passion, go after it. Make the change. Be the change that's needed in order for you to reach those goals. Go after what you truly want. And I was kind of laughing when I put this together, but it's like you have to pass up the donut to fit in the wedding dress, right? There's going to be sacrifices that you have to make. And when I say the word sacrifice, I think some people get scared and they say, oh, I don't want to make sacrifices because is it really worth it? Sacrifices like they have to miss their child's wedding or something, and it's not saying that. But this last week, I skipped my daughter's t-ball practice. and I skipped her game on Saturday. I was prepping for Super Saturday, and I was hosting Super Saturday. Am I a bad parent? No, I am present 100% in my kids' lives the other 23 hours of the day. So the fact that I had to go and do something for my business, that's not just helping my business, that's helping my life. That my kids understand that this is something that mom needs to do, because when they want a new bike for their birthday, oh, okay, well, mom works hard. I'm going to get that new bike for my birthday, or we're going to have food on the table. It's not anything that they ever have to worry about. It's that balance. So yes, sometimes you have to make sacrifices in order to get the things that you want. So in order for me to be better and get further, it's not always going to be when it's convenient, I guess is what I meant to say. So decide what you really want and go after it. Go after it hard. The luxury about this business is that it's not the NFL. So there are days that, we do have the luxury of taking a half a day off, or if our kids get sick, not having to work as hard that day, because that's what we do as coaches. But the other times when we are working the business, and if we have those big, hairy, scary goals, we're hustling. We're putting our head down. We're not making excuses. We are being disciplined to do the things that we need to do even when we don't want to. So, when you're on the clock, that's when you hustle, and that's when you give it all. You got to show up ready to play, and you got to show up conditioned. And I'm going to leave you with this last thing here. So at Super Saturday, our special guest was Jimmy, and he gave us 3 tips for business. I'm going to give you the one takeaway, and it was his first one. And he said you need to be prepared. So you don't just start when you're chosen, right? You are chosen because you got started. People, those athletes that get drafted and get signed on these NFL teams, they didn't just start working out a year or 2 ago. They conditioned themselves their whole lives. So if you want to be successful in this business, you need to be prepared for the opportunities that are going to come to you. Because corporate isn't going to reach out to you and just say, hey, you haven't really done anything with your business, but do you want to be on the national wake-up call? No, you need to work hard. You need to be earning those Success Club points and moving up in rank and, pushing towards elite and being present. Remember, don't be ignored. So that when you do get that call from corporate, or you do get a door that opens up for you, then you're prepared for it. You're ready. It's what you've been working towards. Okay. So just accept full responsibility for what's going on in your business. When discipline becomes habit, that's what can make the difference between a small business succeeding or failing. All right, you guys, that's all that I had for tonight. I ran just a couple minutes over, but I will open it up. You're all muted. If you have any questions at all about, tips and keeping you hustling or whatever, then feel free. Hi, Tara.
Hey.
Anybody have any questions? I can even stop the recording if we want to do any free-form type stuff. Kevin, you can unmute yourself.
Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so you were, you were talking about the why and the negative why, and I just had a meeting with my success partner, Tom, the other day, and we were talking about why, and we never really talked about the negative why versus, this positive why in a sense. I always thought of my why as what I'm going for now, just like you were saying, like now as I'm back to work, I'm really pushing hard to be able to quit that job. So that's part of my why. But as I presented the other day at Super Saturday, I've got 2 main reasons why I became a Beachbody coach. So, but that to me, based on what you're saying here, is my negative why.
Right. So like the job, the layoffs, right? Because you were laid off.
Yeah.
You don't want
exactly.
to be in a position where you were laid off. So we can get another job, but do you want someone else to be responsible for your future? Create your own future. So no, when Keyshawn